Simon, you probably see the breaking news as you came in this morning into the studio, as I am seeing it right now. There was all sorts of conjecture, Simon, that maybe it was time up for Bill Kenwright at Everton, long-serving Bill Kenwright. But now we hear this morning, the last few moments, that Everton's majority shareholder, Farhad Moshiri, who's been on this show umpteen times, is to join the board as a non-executive director, with Bill Kenwright remaining as chairman. And what's the significance of this, Simon? Because there was pressure from a whole bunch of fans that it should be time up for Bill.
I don't know if there's any significance to it. I mean, ultimately, it looks like there's a period of, if you read the statement, I wanted Bill to remain as chairman during this important period of transition.
Yeah.
So it may just be a handing over of intellectual capital. Some of the Everton fans will say, well, that would be a very short period then, because they're not entirely sure how much intellectual capital Bill's got, which I think would be unfair. It's twofold, isn't it? They're not going to do precisely what certain sections of the Everton fan base want, which is to see the back of Bill Kenwright. But they've made changes. He's going to index himself closer to the business, Moshiri. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, given the fact that I believe he's been close enough anyway. Most of the decisions that he's made and the decisions that have gone wrong have been made by him anyway. And they've made a little bit of a reset on the finance director and a few other people coming into the business. So I suspect Bill will be there for a period of time, and then that period of time will pass and he'll go out with a degree of dignity rather than go out at the baying of a howling mob.
And that's what it was looking like, Martin, at one stage. That maybe Moshiri would buckle to what the mob wanted. And as Simon rightly says, many of them wanted Kenwright out.
Well, that's been going on now for quite some considerable time. And it seems a shame, really, because listen, I don't for 1 minute pretend to know the people involved that well, but I've met Bill a couple of times, and I think his heart has always been at Everton. I know, regardless of things that have happened in well, I was nearly going to say the recent past, but it's been some considerable time now since Everton have had a successful team. Then it is a shame. Personally, I'm pleased that he is staying on, as Simon said, maybe to oversee this transition.
Yes, Moshiri is saying, I wanted Bill to remain as our chairman during this important period of transition for the club, and I'm delighted he's accepted my request to do so. As a manager, Martin, do you want stability in your boardroom?
I think that, do you know what, when you step into a job, I'm not so sure that you ever know what's going on in the background, and I think you know what your job is to win football matches. And regardless of stability, of course, it's nice. It'd be nice to know that if there is some sort of friction in the boardroom, that people would be taking your side initially. That wasn't necessarily the case at Leicester City. When I became manager there, first of all, the chairman of the football club, Martin George, wanted me, and quite a number of the board members didn't at the time. So, and there was friction then. And of course, when you get off to a really bad start, then those people who didn't want you in are kind of rubbing their hands and.
Really?
Yeah.
And you were aware of that, were you? In the background,
yes,
one or two saying,
yeah.
I told you we shouldn't have gone for him.
I became aware of it after about 45 minutes at the football club. So, you know these things. So, of course. But, I didn't step in for the job for that there. I didn't know that to begin with, or wasn't really made aware of that. You just want to go in and you want to do your best and you want to win football matches, because eventually you think if you win enough football games, you'll stay in the job.
For sure. So that's the breaking news this morning. Kenwright doesn't go. He stays, at least for the time being. And Moshiri himself, Everton's majority shareholder, joins the board as a non-executive director.